Hello everybody, my name is Joy and welcome back to Paper Drumpf. Now starting with Chapter 9, the day of the vote. So let's save and continue. Rage. Rage against the dying of light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning they. Do not gentle into that good night. Do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang in the sun in flight, and learned too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men, near death, who see with blinding sight. Blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now, with your fierce tears I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night, or rage, rage against the dying of the light. It is the day of the election. How do you vote? Oh, this is the question that I have been fearing for a long time. So, still, assuming that these are all fictional characters, keeping all of my political views of the real world out, we have seen what Drumpf does, and we aren't, at least I'm not too happy about him, but we don't know much about Hillary. We don't know much about her campaign, about what she's been doing behind the scenes. But looking at the debate, that final debate that they were having, I'm gonna have to go with Hillary, because I don't really have that much to go from. You vote for Hillary, and just like that it's over, gone. A split-second conclusion to your life's work. If you hadn't been exiled from Drumpf's side, you would have been out there now, standing next to him at some photo op, with your team, with your guys. It would have been over either way. You would have liked to see it though. It would have been over either way. But you are now a whistleblower. You told the journalist everything you knew about Drumpf, everything you knew that could hurt him, that could put a stop to this madness. You gave her recordings of calls, of meetings, of dictation. You gave her everything you made to protect yourself. It was what he said about his own people, his own supporters that turned the tide. That he used a therapist, that he was not the strong man they thought he was, that he despised them. Of course he did. He was Drumpf, and they were not. You waited for the lawyers to arrive, but they didn't. Something worse happened. The press started to turn its attention towards you. Photos were released, the papers printed those that just showed you kissing the journalist outside your room in the hotel, running headlines about the corruption of it, how a campaign manager had sabotaged her own candidate for a shot at someone's pants. The internet, they had more. Photos of you inside the room. A video. Your room had been bugged. You are flooded with emails, with threats. I should have kept it in my pants. They want to rape you. They want to kill you. They want to erase you. Every homophobic slur under the sun arrives in your inbox. Your Twitter is hacked. And the press, they are just as bad. A Vixen News pseudoscientist suggests you might have had an unrequited love for Drumpf and that you became a lesbian to try and ally your impossible dreams of being First Lady. All careers are over. Now. Not just politics, but a lot of roots. What want you now? Who'd want you now? You can't think like this, you need to accept it. I'm sure there would be people. All things considered, he was still surprised to still receive an invitation to the evening's reception drinks. Maybe you'll go, maybe you'll spite him by accepting. You don't know. You grab your shoes and go out for a run. You wear sunglasses, no one will recognize you. The day is cold and bright. 100 miles away, a man gets into a car. He has a loaded gun concealed beneath his coat. He smiles. You continue running. You pass a police car. Its owner standing to one side and munching on some pretzels. One of them grins and whistles at you, his spouting a glass at him. It's harmless or it's poison. Oh, God. That's... It depends on a lot of things. You stop at a convenience store to get some water. While you wait, behind a few old ladies in line, you see Drumpf speaking on the television, a brief soundbite from earlier in the year. Throughout my campaign, he says, I have told you that I will make America win again. But what is America but her people? What needs to be better but all of you, all of us? So I ask you a question. What can change the nature of an American? Is it love? Is it the greed and hatred of our enemies? Is it our success even? The answer is simple. This whole year, this 2016, you taught me a lesson. It's taught America a lesson. You wrote words for this man. You typed the script. You made choices. You can change our nature by getting out there and telling Hillary, telling those Wall Street slobs that they don't own this country of ours, that we're going to put America first for a change. We need to stand up for ourselves. His face darkens. We were given a bum deal. A nation is a family, and our family is under attack. The reason America is no longer what it was is because a nation is just its people, and our people now have mingled. We got to sort this out, folks. We need to get people thinking of ideas, and in Drumpf's wake, the world is burning, and America will win again. I guess this is what she would think right now. You pay for your water and leave the store. At least it's drinkable. Outside you see the newspapers, Hillary smiling triumphant, assumed victor from the many publications that have supported her. Just a few of Drumpf. One of them shows the photo. A little after he delivered your speech, a little after a protester had set fire to a flag and a panic had begun, Drumpf had helped pull a woman from the crowd. How could he be so selfish? How could he use a moment like that? That kind of says the same thing. But what did you do? Was your first thought in response to the potential disaster unfolding before your eyes? Your first thought was for the crowd, for the people who might be hurt by the crush. Are you better than him? Are you someone who cares about human life, or were you just playing a long game where you just concerned about how this would look to the press if there was a disaster at a rally? You don't know. You drink some water and start running again. 80 miles away, a man stops his car for some coffee. He likes the feeling of his gun against his heart. He looks at his phone. Drumpf, Hillary, Drumpf, Hillary. A few minutes later, and he is on the road again. And you continue running. You come to the park. A dog trots past you, chasing after a stick. Did you ever think about getting another one in the years since Gizmo died? Oh my, that's a difficult one. I don't know. I absolutely love dogs, and just replacing a dog would be impossible, but maybe you could, find love for another dog? Maybe adopt one? You thought about it, but why would you? Chapter 10, 100 days later. Let's see, I've only been recording for about 9 minutes now, so I'm gonna put this in with the same video. 100 days later. Save and continue. When you were 20, you did something unthinkable. You did something wrong. Actually, let me check up on my recording real quick, just to make sure. Alright, everything seems all good. You did something wrong. You did it in the spring, while you were away at college. Sarah helped you. She always helped you. You found your mother. She was living. You didn't know. Your dad had said a lot of things throughout the years. You went to go and see her. She was a disappointment, of course. Who could have possibly lived up to your expectations? Who could have reached her age without regrets, without the corruption of life, without experience? She disgusted you. She didn't even try. To save her marriage, to see you, to keep you. You left, trying to forget her face, her words, her personality. You pretended she doesn't even have a name. You hate her for leaving you. It helps you love your father, that you hate your mother. So you told them this. And you almost lost your father too. But you wondered, you thought. You opened your mind to the possibility of a more complex world. So you tried to get to know her. You did get to know her. You invited your mother to a wedding that never happened. You lost your father. He couldn't understand. He threw you out from your brief visit at hearing that you had betrayed him like this. You lost your mother. Disinviting her and never answering the emails she sent you. The calls. You chose Sarah. But that ended too. It all ended. Oh, sorry, things are going wrong here. Okay, I'm sorry for that, but that ended too. It all ended. Nothing lasts. Nothing stays what it was. It is 2017. The United States of America stands. You're a citizen, and the world has changed. You drive along the empty road. You think back to that night when a policeman stopped you. The cop didn't hurt you. He didn't have to. The memory, the fear, has faded a little. Everything fades. Well, this? You switch on the radio. And it's her. She's speaking. I think that it's a time of great uncertainty. It really is, but I have no doubt that the United Kingdom will remain a strong ally as it's always been and always will be. And although they leave one family today, they will never stand alone in the great challenges to come. And then another voice, the presenter, President Blinton. On today's declaration by the United Kingdom of Article 50, initiating the island's exit from the European Union, the remarks come as... You turn the radio off. You stop for gas a few miles down the road and check your phone as you do. You fill up your car with gas. You drive on. The journalist contacted you after the photos of you both were released, after the videos. She lost her job too. Let's call her. You asked how she was, whether she needed anything. It turned out she was taking the opportunity to start doing her own writing again. She wanted to be a novelist. Journalism had just been a passing dream, a way to try and fund her true passions. But along the way, the dream became reality. She was attacked online. She got much of the same abuse you did, but less, it seemed. She said she was trying to move on, to make a positive of this, and suggested you do the same. And if you ever find yourself in the UK, give me a call. It would be good to see you again. I'm not sure that's a good idea or I'd like that. Yeah, because I'm not sure. I don't know, because that room... Well, it was my hotel room. So how... No, it was my hotel room, so she could not have known that there were cameras up there, right? I'm not sure, but I'm not trusting her entirely still. But I'd like that. Why not? Cool, she said. A little too high-pitched. Well, we've got great weather over here, of course, all year round, never rains. Let me know when you come over. You talked for a while later and left the call feeling happy, feeling hopeful. The sky is growing a little darker. It's going to rain soon. You take the turning for your street and think about your work. You've been living off savings of a small consulting project for a while now, but that's going to come to an end soon. It wasn't supposed to be like this. When you were younger, you wanted to be a doctor. It feels like it'd be too late to do something like that. You're still young, you know that, but you doubt yourself all the time, you know it's too late, maybe you could do it, maybe you could do anything. Maybe you could do anything. You arrive at your home, a quiet place out in suburbia. You moved a long time ago. You had to. You get out of the car and look ahead. You live alone. Of course you live alone. So why is your front door hanging open? You step closer. You can't see any lights on, any sign of activity through the windows. Maybe you left it unlocked, maybe someone's broken in. This seems the more likely one. You approach the front door. You clutch your keys in your fists. You keep your hands ready. Keep your hands ready. You enter. Hello? Is anyone there? You hear a noise coming from your kitchen. You go around the corner. There's a man sitting at your table, wearing a yellow rain jacket. He looks up from his phone and smiles. Hello, he says. What are you doing in my house? Get the fuck out of my house or back away. What are you doing in my house? This might be interesting. Huh, he says. Straight to business it is, then. I've got something you'll want to hear. You feel like you've seen him before, but you can't quite place him. It's not every day a man who stood for President of the United States invites a girl like you to meet with him. A man who stood, you remind him. Not a man who won. I suppose it's not. It's not every day a man who stood for President of the United States invites a girl like you to meet with him. A man who stood, not a man who won. I suppose it's not. So, the man continues. He wants you to fly out to Drumpf Tower. He wants to see you. They haven't told me why. Well, he grins, I expect he'll tell you himself. Is this a smart thing, or is he just gonna frame me for something? Well, I guess if he wants me dead, if he wants to frame me for something, he might as well just kill me in my apartment, so... Agree. You get some things ready, lock up and follow him out of his car. You fly east towards the man who tried to buy America. End of chapter 10. Oh, it's ending on a bit of a cliffhanger. I'm curious, because maybe he's trying to frame me for something. Maybe he's trying to, you know... My first thought was he's gonna fly a plane into some building and then blame me for it. But then I figured if he just wants to embarrass me terribly, then he could also just plant drugs on me or something like that and kill me in my apartment. That probably wouldn't have had as much of an impact. I don't know. I'm not trusting this one little bit, but we're gonna find out what happens in chapter 11. The Life of the King. The last chapter, I believe. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna leave a link down in the description if you want to play this game for yourself, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!